Welcome everyone to the Subject for Podcast, a podcast that we have nachos. We're a fan-made podcast of the Matthias channel. Yes, it is the Matthias channel. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble. Project 863 is dead. So, yes, Project 863 is dead. But yes, we're a fan-made podcast of the Matthias channel and the mysteries that are going on over there, and we like to just sit around and talk about it. And the latest episode was posted yesterday, and let's talk about it. Joined with me on stage are some moderators and some editors from Spellbound as well. In fact, the editor who edited his last episode, which was this last episode, is here with us. Hi, Garrett, and everyone else. Hi. Yes, and everyone else. Unfortunately, you probably be noticing that we are missing another host. Shades did get that job promotion that he wanted, but with that came with more responsibilities, and that means like the next couple of weeks he is going to have to work late than normal. But he sends everyone his well wishes, and he thought yesterday's episode was fantastic. And I did get to talk to him yesterday about it. So, yeah. But he will be here on Saturday. Yeah, he will be here with us on Saturday. Unfortunately, he can't make Wednesdays for the next couple of weeks, which is bittersweet. We're all excited that he got this job promotion, but we're gonna miss him. So, but how are you guys? Yeah, you have nachos.
Nachos.
I don't have
Did you just have
nachos,
those?
so I could be doing better.
You could.
Wait, what?
True. We all could be doing better with nachos.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what to make for lunch. And I thought I have nacho cheese. I'm gonna make some nachos.
Nugs
Oh,
look
no.
like I'm not going to bring any for the rest of the class.
Unfortunately,
Probably not.
the cheese would probably not be very good by the time I got to you guys.
Ah,
So I had
come
to
on.
think.
I
I had
can
to
put
think
them in
about your
nachos.
health. Okay.
Those are called excuses.
Yeah.
I had to think about your health.
Had to think about your health. I just think you're hoarding it all.
Dude, screw my health. I need nachos.
Well,
There's
so
only one serving. Okay. There's one
welcome
serving.
back everyone to season 3. We were expecting a bit of a delay in between the seasons, but we did not get that.
Yeah.
Matthias and his team wanted to hop right in with the Matthias channel, I guess. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, like, I guess they got a week off. The podcast didn't, but they got a week
No.
off.
No, it made my job harder. I had to do more in a day to get them all done by yesterday.
It did mine too because we can talk about this publicly. Well, I can. I was doing a editing project for Artemis and Nate, who is another podcast staff, which Garrett can attest to this. We as in me, was working on it, and that kind of went down the gutter.
Yeah, we
And
were
I'm-
expecting to release content on different platforms during the break, but it was like we didn't get a break. Like
You really
be-
didn't.
we didn't because we did the season finale, then we did a town hall, and then we did an editors on Saturday. Like we had a
Yeah.
very busy week last week, and so it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
I was
yep.
expecting like maybe like a week or so in a break, but we did not get that. So sorry. I know Twitch has not been updated with our new artwork. Again, scrambling because we couldn't post our new artwork and stuff until the Matthias channel did that. So as soon as the Matthias channel started changing things, I was on Discord changing things and stuff. So
Yep.
Sorry, Mysterious Wolf. We did start without you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do plan to get those episodes, the edited live streams, out to those podcast platforms. And when I refer to podcast platforms, that's Spotify, Apple, Twitch, or not Twitch, Spotify, Apple, Google, etc.
Yeah.
So we
We're
plan
on-
to get those out soon,
We're on so
alongside the season 3 episodes.
We're on so many platforms because the RSS feed, they send it out to even like no-name podcast people, like in Russia.
Yeah.
We're on a bunch of Russian platforms. I'm like, what? Okay.
Hi, Russia.
I thought you were gonna say RSD. We're on the remote.
No,
Serum
the RSS.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought
can't
too.
take a
Like,
shower
dang.
without you guys having a podcast. Sorry. I mean, I did post the time. Like,
We did.
and we were on
True.
time for once. So,
Yeah.
but
Who knows how long that's gonna be?
I know. Well, I mean, I usually, depending on how the numbers go, the podcast is still going to upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We're still not upload, but we're still going to record on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We will be live streaming the Wednesday with the open mic with the mods, but we will actually be recording. So if you're listening to us on YouTube right now, you will not see us on Saturday until the episode comes out on Monday. So unless you join the Discord, which the link is in the description of the video, and because we'll do a live recording with just our Discord on Saturdays. So that's where we're at right now. And it's been crazy. The podcast has been crazy. There's been so many changes over in Spellbound. So, which we're not going to go over. If you guys have any questions about the Matthias's post, I know he made another one yesterday, which was kind of like, well, I mean, it had to
Dad
be made.
being-
It had to be made. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
targeted things like at me, calling me like retard, and that I'm just a spellbound simp, and I don't care about the fans and stuff like that. And I'm like, so there was, people just got ugly on the Spellbound platform, and so.
And
They
quickly.
care about you guys, which is why it's being put into effect.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's-
tough love, and nobody likes that. So,
Mhm.
but what were you gonna say, Garrett?
I was just gonna say it was disappointing, to be honest, to see a lot of the comments and to see people's
It was,
reaction.
yeah.
It made me not mad, just just upset and disappointed way. And
Yeah, I'm with you there.
yeah, and I could definitely attest to how Matt felt with that, because of just reading that post. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't imagine how he's feeling when he's seeing all these comments and such.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gave the majority of us like that disappointed parent feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, the majority of it, I can tell that a lot of, again, that's one of the reasons why we did the emergency town hall on Thursday, is because a lot of people don't read posts all the way through. They read they pick out pieces and
Up
then
to
they
the
were just
trigger
like-
point. They get to the trigger point and then they react.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
so that's one of the reasons why we did the town hall. And I like the Subject 4 podcast, the fans of the Subject 4 podcast, you guys are amazing. I saw you guys every single day on Spellbound trying to calm tempers and trying to get people to understand why these changes are not like evil changes and just a paywall and stuff like that, and that you guys worked very hard. I even saw so many people, like I was getting in arguments with people, and I would just see somebody from the Subject 4 podcast fans and just been like, here, you could just listen to this town hall. They go through it in depth. And I was just like, and here I am arguing with people. So, but that's,
Well,
I mean, I even posted a meme yesterday that I took down because it was like, it was just me venting out frustrations, and a bunch of people were like, how dare you? And I'm like, So I just ended up taking it down. But I mean, it felt good to post a meme about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I think one of the comments that also got to me was, as a webmaster and I've worked with a bunch of companies that have app developments, and they're like, "Why don't you just code it yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's not how that works."
It's not, and especially because they don't own the platform. They're going through Mighty Networks, so that makes it just that much harder. And with the fact that the platform does not have the best moderation tools, from what I've heard,
No.
It makes it that much harder as well.
yeah, I mean,
So there's things that were put into place to get to keep the community safe. That's the most important part. But
and I get like some people's frustrations were like, why don't you just go a different direction, do a company that actually has better moderation tools? But the thing is like you're just asking the company to. That's almost like asking like Spellbound Studios to pick itself up and move to like San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's not an easy feat to do, to transfer like everyone off of this platform onto a different platform. Like they've already put investments into Mighty Networks, and so but I mean it was disappointing, but such is life. Those changes, if you have not made if you have not purchased the premium package at $4.99, prices will go up. For the premium will be basically $10 at the end of the month, but you can lock in that feature for $4.99. You can get the third tier for an entire year. So until like November 2022, you can be locked in with a third tier price of $4.99 instead of $9.99. So you would be saving quite a few, buccarinos.
Dollary dues.
Oh,
Yeah.
I misunderstood how that worked. I thought whenever you first made or paid for the premium tier, you had to like do it every month, and then you get the November lock-in.
No, as long as you purchase the premium, as of right now, if you purchase the premium price, you get that price for an entire year. You just have to do it by October, at the end of October. So the start of
Basically, to break it down, what will happen is the $4.99 tier will still be in effect, but at the end of this month, it will no longer be a public tier that can be purchased. It will still exist in the background. And the only thing that will be viewable to members from a purchase standpoint will be the $1.99, the $4.99, and the $9.99 tier.
Yep.
So
Yep,
yeah,
you guys, even if it's late, even if you guys are late, we're just going through the intro stuff, so you haven't missed anything pertaining to the episode, really.
No. Yeah, true. We will be starting to do memberships on YouTube. That will come out. It's just that YouTube.
Woohoo!
I thought it was just, hey, here's my bank account information, and that would be it. But it's never simple with YouTube.
It's never simple.
Even when you want to live stream on YouTube, it takes you 24 hours for them to review your account before they even let you live stream. And I'm like, Even Overkill had that issue. Overkill live streamed on Twitch that one time because he couldn't live stream right away after he's a successful channel on YouTube, but they had to put that 24-hour hold on him too. And I'm like, it's never simple with YouTube. So, but that it will be coming, and there are some perks with that. Hint, might be a Minecraft server. What? But
yeah. Heck yeah. And guess who's gonna be on it? Me.
I will be on it, and I just create chaos. Even Shades can tell you. Like, I create chaos on Minecraft. Like,
Guys, I hate to break it to you guys. I don't have Minecraft.
well, boo, you should go get
We
Java
gotta
right
get you
now.
Minecraft.
I'm tempted.
Yeah, if we
Shades
ever
crap.
catch Emiko on the server, we know there's going to be some sort of chaos.
Oh, God, Emiko. Emiko likes to do this thing. Like, he doesn't really pay attention to what your health levels are. So he just walks up behind you and just, like, stabs you and then runs away. And
Why
so,
does that not surprise me? That sounds like something he'd do.
well, I bred, like, 15 dogs. So now if he tries to come up and stab me, my dogs just all attack him. And I think it
She
was
did
you,
that
Nugs.
the other day.
Yeah, Nugs,
Yeah.
you thought that was the most hilarious thing. And
It was so funny.
like, he just got attacked by so many dogs. I was like, dude, don't hit me. And he likes to do this thing. He likes to do this thing where you're sleeping in your bed and he likes to stack dirt blocks all on top of you. So you get suffocated. Like, whoa!
I thought you were gonna say he just stands there and watches you sleep.
No,
Hi.
like,
All right,
me and
guys, I gotta
Shades-
bounce. I'll try to make it back.
All right, bye,
Yep, see you,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Bye.
So me and Shades have our own little house and we have our little bedroom, and so we'd be laying there waiting for night to be over, and Emiko will come into our room and just be like, "Hey guys, what are we doing?" We're like,
Oh, that's.
"We're sleeping, Emiko."
Mom, I threw up.
Asking for a friend.
Mom, I threw up. Ah. Just go play with the dogs, Emiko.
Go play with the dogs, Emiko.
Whack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was what you were like. You were like, just go hit him. I just want to see the dogs attack him. And boy, did they attack him. Boy, did they.
It was
go
he
crazy.
closing the door, and then he's like, "Ha, you can't get me," and then you open the door.
Well, the person who owns the server, he like takes bribes in diamonds to kill anyone on the server. So one of the reasons why I've raised so many dogs is that Emiko likes to put the hit out on me. And so this person comes around and is gonna kill me. I'm like, good luck, my dogs are right here. So
They're gonna get you.
yeah, and
Minecraft are you all playing? Hey, hold on. I do a pretty good Patrick impression. Hold on.
I just did.
It's
He's
brilliant.
just standing there, menacingly.
Wee woo, wee woo.
What is this podcast?
Oh man.
So, today we are going to be talking about the latest episode of the Matthias channel. I almost said Project 863. I almost did. I almost
Old
did,
habits.
but I didn't. The episode we're going to be talking about is the season premiere of season 3. Caught writing is bleeding through the walls every night at 3 a.m. So,
Okay.
Garrett, you edited
Hi.
this. What was your favorite part to edit?
My favorite part was the opening. To be
Yeah.
honest, I had so much fun doing that first like 5 to 6 minutes. That was the best. I was having so much fun there.
The parts with the security camera footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I did like that shot actually a lot. That was actually really clever to use the security cameras like that.
So to kind of go through the show beats, we kind of get a flashback of what happened in season 2. Matthias Bat Matt coming out and beating up the server, the absolute server, and saying that Project 863 is dead. And then we open up to what Garrett said that he had fun with was the security cameras, and we see the, what is that called? Would that be the loft? Or, well, it's like right behind Bailey's desk. We see the words, "Can you keep a secret?" And then Sam enters, and we're in the nest footage, and she sees the writing. She's kind of freaked out. She realizes the door wasn't locked, but the code was still chirping when she walked through the doors. Like the alarm was still set, but the doors weren't locked. So she takes a picture and she sends it over to Matthias, letting him know, hey, is this a dope or nope kind of gig? Or what's going on? Like, are you guys, like, is this... And I think it's so funny because when Tanner walks in later, he's like, is this a Project 863 thing? And she's like, I thought it was a dope or nope thing. And then everyone kind of looks at Sam because she was the first one on scene. And she's all like, it wasn't me. So
well, they all thought it was a prank. A lot of them did, even Matt.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, and so they go upstairs. Well, Sam, after she takes a picture, she checks Mega Desk and she checks different rooms, and then she goes upstairs, and we just hear her like going like, "Are you serious?" And we don't get to see what's up there until Tanner comes in, and she actually. I really liked this vlog style because it was like a seamless transition from Matthias vlogging from outside to now Sam is documenting what she's seen upstairs. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed like Sam picking up like a vlog camera and filming what she's seen. And I did
as well.
Felt natural.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it did.
It felt natural, like, because she's a vlogger, and so it would just be natural for her to want to pick up the camera and document something weird that's happening in the studio. And so I really enjoyed that. And we get Tanner that comes in, and she takes him upstairs, and it says, "You're not listening," and it's spelled "you-are." Not the word's not spelled out your
like a zoomer.
Yeah,
like a zoomer.
Well, and I was talking to a squatter who is in the audience right now. I was talking to him yesterday, and he goes, it just like your, and he was like really stuck on that. Hi, squatter. He was really stuck on that, and he was like, your, like that's such a new type of thing. I'm like, not really, because back when we were like in high school, Squatter's a little bit older than me, not by a lot, but he is a little bit older than me. But back then we used to do this thing called T9 texting. And yeah, it's a horrible way of texting. Like you have you have each number on your keypad has letters under it or below it. Like one is A, B, C. So if you wanted the letter C, you would have to hit 1 3 times and it would bring up the letter C. So that's when texting kind of started. Yeah, I'm getting there, squatter. That's when texting started becoming like shortening words, because you didn't want to sit there and hit like the number 8 key 3 times. And then I'm trying to think of what's O, 6? I don't know. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Did you pull out your phone?
O is 6. O is 6 because I pulled out my phone.
Where we don't know the alphabet.
I pulled out my phone and looked at the passcode numbers.
I would pull out my phone, but I have my show beats on
2
me
is
right
ABC. 2 is ABC.
Yeah, 2 is ABC. Anyway. Well, yeah,
wasn't back then. It was 1.
Yeah. I know. That's what I was thinking.
So you would have to hit, you would have to go to 8, 6, and then U, whatever U is, and then R, and then hit that number that many times to get that letter. So, 863. What does 863 spell? It wouldn't be that long. It'd just be 3 letters. I like how everyone's quiet now. Why you guys?
I mean, it just depends on which letters you string together, because there's 3 letters each, right? Or 2 or 3 letters to each.
So,
so just
it would spell toe.
Toe.
It's like neck. We have to look on Wes's toes. We have to look at Wes's toes.
Hey Wesley, you selling feet pics?
No, stop.
Toe.
I regret
Oh
everything
my
I just said.
gosh.
Congratulations, you started it.
No, squatter, technically.
Okay, who started it? We're finishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're saying nope. So okay.
Toe.
So the writing you are I mean it's not new. Like everyone thinks it's a Zoomer thing now. Millennials were using UR a long time ago when we had to use T9 texting. And in fact, that's when texting started shortening itself, was that. But then Squatter made the observation, it's just very unprofessional. Like, everyone else has had really good grammar, and here we have like a ghost who's writing UR. So, but it then Matt makes the observation that the N's are written different, the I's are written different. They go back downstairs and Matt thinks it's a prank, and I don't know. It
seems like they all think it's a prank at first, because I mean it doesn't surprise me, right? I've been watching them since Team Edge started, and they've pranked people over and over and over and over again
just think about,
in that studio.
Hannah wasn't Hannah, it was Rose. Rose used to prank all the time. That's what her channel was just pranking. So
well, it's Matt that mostly thinks it's a prank. Bailey thinks it's Deb, and Sam thinks it could be something else. So we all have different options or different ideas to what could have happened at first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then Woods is like, no, it's a prank.
Yeah. So, and the oldest one here, Artemis knows I'm playing. Yes, Agent 47. Yeah.
Okay. He's awesome. I've only talked to him like once, but he's awesome.
Yeah.
So are everybody here.
He's definitely older than me. So when he calls me a boomer, yeah. That's more of an insult on Agent 47 than it is for me. Matt says that he has a meeting and that he'll check back with Sam, and he'll get Woods and Tanner to kind of look at different locations, though we didn't get to see them really scoping out Orange Base, which I thought that was interesting. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I did think that was interesting that we didn't see any footage at Orange Base. They went to Red Base because the theory that Bailey came up with was that the writing is behind Bailey's desk and the writing upstairs is right next to Sam's desk. And would that mean that there's something next to Woods? So they went straight to Red Base, and there was writing on the wall that said, "Help me." So we have, "Can you keep a secret? You're not listening, and help me." Which was, I don't know, they don't go together. Like, "Can you keep a secret?" Seems like
it seems like, in what I've seen the theories on, but it seems like they're individually what's the word? Individually specific to something or somebody. And one of the biggest theories that I've seen, and obviously what they had put in they had in the episode as well, somebody said it, where it was, one was to Bailey, one was to Woods, one was to Sam. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we're waiting for the next episode to see if there's anything else. But
yeah, because I know that one of Bailey's first thing was B27, because the person that keeps breaking in, that would be my first guess, would be like, hey, we have somebody who keeps breaking in and damaging stuff. This isn't a far leap for. I mean, he wrote strike 1 on the side of their car. So for him to pick up a can of spray paint and write these messages, is not far-fetched. And I think that's when I was watching the episode, that's the first thing I went to was B27. But they firmly believe that he's still incarcerated. Which, Squatter, do you want to hop up here and tell us your theory about B27 being incarcerated? You can't? Okay, so I'll say it and I'll take the credit, okay? I thought of this all myself. We do know that B27 has somebody on the inside, because that's how B27 got the LAPD case, because the Squatter, if you want to post the screenshot, during a conversation John Doe says, does it really Matthias asks, does it really belong to LAPD? John Doe says the case does, yes, or rather some inside the LAPD. So that to Squatter, that was confirmation that B27 has somebody else, like how Deb has someone working in law enforcement, that B27 has someone out in the inside working in law enforcement.
Well, this what makes me think here is this the picture that Squatter put in the podcast chat. It says some inside, not someone inside. So it seems like he was saying that there was there could be multiple in.
Yeah. Well, I would think that if somebody was actively shutting down cases that were open against Syntech, that would mean that Syntech has multiple people, somebody higher than John Doe to shut down cases. But you can't shut down a case on murder. So that's where season 2 kind of took a twist, was because we had an active investigation put in because there was a murder. Yeah, Roger, but we know that GR is government related, so it's interesting.
GR, government related, huh?
That's how I remember it.
Hey guys, I gotta head out. My grandmother is home from the hospital.
All right.
Alrighty.
Hey,
Peace. So
take care.
So we to continue with our episode, they finally pull up the Nest cams, and the Nest cams show that these letters show up one by one, magically on their own. And they go around in the studio, they show people around the studio, and nobody has any answers.
Inky, you can hop up if you want.
Yeah, you can hop
Open
up if
mic.
you want. Don't feel like you're obligated to, though. So I know when Woods saw the writing at the Red Base, he felt like how did he put it? How did he describe it? That the letters were...
It looked like they were coming out from the wall rather than
coming from the wall through.
Instead of it being like painted on the wall, it looks like it's coming from the wall as if it was there before.
Mm. So, we do have that, and then they decide that because it was a coincidence that this happened on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and that something should happen on that Monday at 3 a.m. So they're deciding to do another overnight challenge, so that they're going to stay. In the next episode, we kind of get glimpses that they're going to stay overnight and wait until 3 a.m. to see if anything happens. So that is our next episode. So any thoughts, any theories for the moderators up on the stage?
What makes me stumble when I think about this is how the lettering got on the walls. You know, we saw the security camera footage of the bases. I don't think we saw the red bases, but I think we saw the other two. It just appeared there. And I can't think of anything that would make that logically work. Like logic is out of the window here.
Very
Um,
much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I
Can I
can't think of
interject
anything
some
that
logic?
doesn't make. Sure.
Can I
Attempt.
bring
love
some
that.
science into a ghost hunt?
Science
Sure. I
time
tried.
with Artemis.
Yes.
I mean, I
science
do
time,
agree. I think
science.
it's scientific.
Okay, so in private chats that I've had with Dad, he mentioned, I think he was doing some editing or thumbnail editing or something while I was talking to him in personal chats that I have with him sometimes. And he just let loose. He's just like, "You're gonna hate season 3." And I'm all like, "Thanks." Thanks for the warning. And I'm like, it can't be worse than Neck. It cannot be worse than Neck. And he was all like, it's worse. So I can kind of see where the sense of like spooky Halloween ghosts and stuff like that would have no correlation with science, when there are some interesting theories in the science world about ghosts and ghost sightings and stuff like that. And again, I would hate to bring this up, but wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff that this writing was on those walls at a different time. And it's now because of maybe the server being crushed or something like that, something along the lines of Matthias turning off the server, that they might have
Awakened.
I don't want to say it like, well, not awakened, but kind of made the time in between when those experiments were happening in the building and the Matthias timeline come closer. That there's now this like energy. I would hate to sound like a hippy dippy, but I mean, there are some correlations between electronic magnetic pulses and I guess supernatural experiences. So what I'm saying is that the wall that they're seeing and these letters appearing actually appeared at that time in a different time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have explained it on a podcast before, but Einstein theorized that time isn't three-dimensional and that it's actually waves, and that you can get two peaks of waves right next to each other, and they could be very close to each other, and you can see into that different time. So Matthias time, 2021, and when I would have to look at the Science Babes timeline, but the timeline that they were doing experiments on, I believe, was like 97 to 2003. Don't quote me on that. I would have to look at their timeline to double check on that. But so maybe you have 2021 sitting on a wave, and then you have, I don't know, 1998 sitting on another wave, and you can actually see these experiments happening, and that these walls were actually I don't. There.
I think I remember when you did the graph last time. So
Yeah.
he attempted at a recreation.
Yeah. So, but think of this.
heck
Think of
yes.
this like. Think of this like
It's
vertical.
the time snake.
Yeah. Think of it as vertical, and so you have one peak of time next to another, but they're closer together than the other peaks, and we're not sure what would cause those peaks to become closer to where you could see into it. Because one of the theories is that, isn't it interesting that we only see like Victorian era ghosts? Like everyone who describes a ghost, it's like a lady in a white dress with a Victorian hairstyle. Like it's always like Victorian era. So maybe 2021 in the Victorian era are sitting on those peaks. And so that's the science that I can pull from that. But I also like ghost stories. Like I had to call Matt out. I was like, "You're a liar. I enjoyed this episode." But he's probably like shaking his head like, "Oh, no, you like
I've
this
always-
episode."
I think he was like, yeah, you're not gonna like this season because we're gonna defy science a little bit. And you're like, ghost stories?
I do. I like ghost
See,
stories.
I've
I don't like
always
horror
liked- I've
movies,
always
but I
liked
like
the
ghost stories.
paranormal, like thinking about it
Yeah.
and if
But-
it's a thing or not, if it's
The thing for me is, okay, so I can actually talk about this because I don't know what the heck is going on. I just edited the episode, the first episode, so I can actually say my opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't believe that ghosts will be involved in this season, and the reason is because the show really focuses a lot on sci-fi work, and not just that, but also realism in the sci-fi world. Obviously, there are fictional stuff that can't happen in the real world, but it still is boundaried into the reality they created. So I think the title "Look Closer" has something to do with it. Also, when they looked at the word phantom, it says imagination to it, and it was highlighted. I didn't do that.
It's because Matt probably had it highlighted and was like looking at that, but I've even said that in this podcast. Who's listening to the podcast and who's taking notes? Like, I even said like for Deb, a scientist, to call these people phantoms. Let me look up phantom. Is interesting because phantoms aren't scientific. The definition of phantom is a figment of the imagination.
mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting that a scientist would call something like that a figment of the imagination. So who's in prison right now? Is that just an imaginary thing? And maybe that's why the officers took them in for experimentation, not because of the contraption, but because they keep saying that there's somebody in there that they can't see.
Where they opened up the back of the truck to see
they
this
open the
bomb
back
and
of the
there was
truck
nothing
and
there.
they see a bomb, and these YouTubers are like, "Yeah, take him in," and they're like, "There's no one there."
I hate that. I hate it so much.
And so I'm wondering if it's not so much ghosts, Garrett, but something in the serum that's affecting them.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of an episode of the good Teen Titans show, which was one of the villains, Shade. It's not here, so it's kind of sad. This villain had implanted a kind of powder that affected one of the heroes, Robin, who was his nemesis, and he'd keep having hallucinations, and with a hallucination of the villain taunting him, and every time he attempted to attack it, he'd actually
Remember
get more
that
damage.
episode? I've seen
Yeah.
that. It's like one of the only ones I've seen.
Only people from the 2000s know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
All the kids that watch the Titans
Yep.
show, go look up the good version of Teen Titans.
Oh,
it's
the new
better.
one's so bad.
The new one is so
The
bad.
new one's
It's so bad.
The
Well-
old one was like, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Well, the other reason why I think they're called Phantoms is because Phantom of the Opera is the reason why he's called the Phantom is because he's hidden in the shadows, someone who is mysteriously missing all the time. It's a terminology that's used in literature works of not literal definition, but rather more of ethereal kind of sort. So that's the reason why I usually think they're called phantoms in the first place.
Well, I mean, again, you
We
have somebody.
just kind of see him pop up and then he vanishes out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, again, because it's like a figment of your imagination, and for Deb to describe something like that, I think she would be in the more literal sense. But there is a big issue with that theory, and that would be, well, we've never been around Serum, and it's on tape. The Phantom is on tape. And so how are we seeing the B-27 then? So I mean, I hate to put I hate to put a stick in my own spokes, but I mean I have to. But I mean, it could also be like, well, Garrett, you're very close to Spellbound, and you have direct connection with Matthias.
What?
Well, when you edit things, so maybe you're under the influence as well, just being in association with them, and so you would edit it to have a phantom in it. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's the only thing.
Maybe I'm the only phantom.
Workaround. But
Maybe I'm the Phantom.
maybe Garrett's over there, like in Canada land. I'm the Phantom. But
by the way, I'll be right back. Okay.
yes.
I think one thing that AJTXVV is pointing out on YouTube is that it's not something that it's on the serum because Bailey and Tanner were not exposed to the serum.
True.
At least not directly
But
enough.
yeah, I mean, they did their experiments inside of a studio that they work in.
But it was only one part of the serum, and it didn't even it wasn't even
no, it caught on fire right there
gas.
in the lobby. It caught on fire in the lobby. It got spilt down the stairs. They experimented with it with the red stuff.
Would that be enough?
I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, this apparently it could be triggered into aerosol where you can breathe it. But I mean, it dripped down Sam's office into the where they have all the Nerf guns.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have been exposed to it. The only people who haven't is yeah, Christy, thank you. The only people who haven't is Subject 4. And we see the Phantom, unless it's been manipulated for us to see it. That's the only thing. So
very interesting.
It's actually kind of funny because how we see the story, the world and the camera footage being presented to us. Sometimes I'm not even sure if we're on Quinn's shoulders only anymore. If because at the beginning of the episode, when we see Sam walking in and just saying those beautiful, beautiful red words on Bailey's wall, it kind of, we were seeing it from an S camera point of view. And yeah, that can be used for story building, but here's my question. What if someone, sure, Matt could have added in post-production, but what if someone is watching them right now at the studio?
Like
what
through the
if
cameras?
what if
Like
you
if
yeah,
Deb,
what if
because Deb lost contact, maybe she's looking through the Nest footage.
It's possible.
yeah, it's possible.
She seems like she would have the skill to do so.
Yeah, I mean, she already managed to sneak in an emulator, an SD card. Syntac managed to hide an entire server in a wall of the building that apparently no one knew of.
And then the satellite on the roof.
The satellite
which
on the roof, which should be painfully obvious.
the office in the stairs where they were
Same
doing
thing.
renovations. Yeah.
Like, surely she must have other ways of knowing what's going on, and is just letting Matt go on his quote unquote tantrum.
Yeah.
One thing,
Matt, let's be honest, you're throwing a tantrum, Matt.
yes. One of the things that bothers me about Matt saying Project 863 is Deb is that he's wearing the absolute. Wait, I
Yeah.
thought it was dead. Like
You said Deb. You said Deb.
no, dead.
Well, remember you did say Deb. But remember he said that after he put the absolute on it, he felt better, right? Or at
What
least keeping it on.
What if Wes was also contaminated and the absolute was keeping him alive? What if that was what was up with the Phantom surviving so long?
Well, the Phantom apparently didn't get a hold of it until they led him to Wes's grave.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
But we still have a hole in that.
That is.
Because we don't know if we're under the assumption that the Phantom came back and dug it up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like we didn't see that. And I don't like to assume anything about the series anymore. Never again will I assume things.
Nick happened. Perfectly understandable.
No, Neck was a...
Nick was
This is
painful.
okay.
Neck was beautiful.
No, it
Nick
wasn't.
was
Neck
painful.
was like defacing the Bible to a Christian. You defaced the holy periodic table of elements to a scientist.
No.
Yes, no. This is why a bunch of people, like the science babes, myself, everyone who has a science background hates Neck because it like, yeah, to you it's just the periodic table of elements, but that is like, I mean, that's kind of sacred in science, and to misuse it like that, it kind of hurt. And yeah, but that's one of the reasons why you're gonna get a lot of scientists have an issue with Neck, is because it was like that was our thing. Like, I don't know.
That was the scientist's moment to shine.
Yeah. And where you could
simpler than you all thought.
You go back to writing 863's live stream, one of the only live streams that the channel ever did with Matthias, and he was pulling ideas. One of the ideas I said was like, I know this is science fiction, but can we have some science in this? And he liked that. And so we were like, the scientists were all led to believe that we were going to get science into this. And so freaking Neck. But I mean, I just
needed to clarify.
Huh?
Like science. What level of science?
True.
Because like he did show you the periodic table split in half.
And it said like what's the
science.
stabilizing key? And so yeah.
He got excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were actually, the science babes and I were actually like building formulas. Like they actually built like a stabilizing key formula, which they still believe that the absolute is a carbon nanotube. that could be the stabilizer for this would be the carbon nanotube, and they believe that the absolute is carbon, and that stabilizes it.
Kina,
But
thank you. Kina is saying that the tagline for this season is "Look closer."
I
We might
hope so.
still-
But I don't
you
know.
mi-
He
you
said I
guys
was
have-
gonna hate this season, so I don't know. I'm still
She says
wary.
the tagline is
can-
"Look closer, neck
he-
might be surface level."
Here's the thing, though. He might have said that to trick you.
He would too. Little jerk.
Yeah, look closer, but instead all of it is right on top.
Yeah.
It's like for all those people who go really deep into research and whatnot, it's just like, it's right there, right for you. No science this season for Artemis.
No, but I mean, yeah, what Agent 47, I do agree the scientists would never have used neck as a clue, but in Lay's person, right? But
Major.
you have all these scientists in this story. Why wouldn't they be thinking like scientists? And that's what bothers me. So the only person I can see using neck would be Jordan, because we know that Jordan's science background was made up. But bothers me because then Wes was wearing it on his neck and but yeah, well, that's why I didn't like neck.
That's
because
valid.
it's like
I still find it really funny.
you would
Just
though. You guys
many
because
would.
you're like, oh, I don't want it to happen. I hate this, and then it happened. I'm like, ha ha, Artemis, you suck. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoyed that, which sucks that that's what they want
A lot of
in
the
the
people
episodes.
enjoyed that because it hurt. It like we get to see you annoyed.
Well, I mean, it's not hard to annoy me. You can even ask Shades that. But I mean,
Dad?
I've made memes out of it. I've made memes and posted it on the Discord. Like, yeah. And as a meme, I think it's a great meme, but I just didn't like it in the story. But new season neck doesn't exist in this season, so we shouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, Project AC3 is done. There's
Yeah.
no more Nick.
Yeah, Project
Ooh, I
863
actually-
is done, but
you
we're
know-
gonna wear the absolute around our neck. Yeah.
No, I have a theory about that actually.
And what's that?
So when I first, or I guess after the episode came out, and when I first saw the channel artwork on the Matthias channel being changed around and whatnot, I kind of thought that I think what they're going to do now is they're going to be their own entity in all this. They're not going to be, kind of like a.
They're not going to be.
They're not going to be on Deb's side. They're not going to be on the Phantom side. They're going to have their own stance in all of this instead of being tethered down to one side. They're going to be kind of the vigilante group in
You're
this.
like saying that we have a new problem.
What?
Like we have a new side to choose.
Because okay,
Let's split everything even further.
I get what you're
I
saying,
just-
Nux. You're saying Project 863 is dead because Project 863 was Deb's. So Project.
Well, no, I'm not
863
saying it's dead because I'm just saying that I don't think it's dead in the sense that they don't want to be a part of it anymore. Or at least Matt doesn't. And I think what he wants to do is I think he wants to not be constricted to only their side because he knows that there is some, or there could be some bad on Deb's side as well, because obviously Deb did kill Wes. So he doesn't want to be constricted to only helping her. He wants to be able to kind of take the best of both and run with that.
Do you think that breaking the server and saying Project 863 is dead is all for show? And that because they don't really want to put on air in front of the cameras what they're really doing?
I'm not sure anymore.
But
I don't know.
that would be cutting out subject 4.
Yeah, that too.
And we're supposedly part of the fun.
Yeah.
I don't really
And I
know.
threw a fit. I try to find a way to get myself a ticket from Portugal to California so I could like do a protest or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
stop excluding subject 4. Nah, I'm joking. I wouldn't. Don't look up High Five Studios building. Don't do any of that. Let's just enjoy the story.
Kenya. I think absolute is the cause of the writing on the walls. It glowed on Wes's body at 3 a.m. This writing shows up at 3 a.m. There is a correlation in between the two, isn't there? Interesting.
I don't know. Like, obviously, I used to watch a lot of those like ghost hunters and shows like that where they were going around to different places that were believed to be haunted and were actually using these gadgets and whatnot to test if these places were haunted or not. But I don't know. Like, obviously they, you know, when they did that overnight challenge a long time ago where they used those ghost hunting things, they used that bear. You remember the bear? They used that way wrong. They used all these gadgets wrong, and I'm thinking, I know how to use these, and they're doing it wrong. And so I feel like they could go back and actually. No, I see. I wouldn't go as far as to using those legend those that's bad stuff, but yeah, I don't know. There could definitely be a paranormal element in it. And
legend,
and
I think with Matthias's beliefs, they won't bring in a Ouija board, and they've already
I
Sam
really
has
hope
already
they
said
don't
that
either.
she won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They already said they weren't gonna do it like that.
I know.
And
I remember
even
Tanner. They did it on Tanner's channel a while ago, but
Well, it was a dope or no
pink
product.
one.
It was like products for girls that shouldn't be just for girls, and it was a
Yeah.
pink Ouija board. And I know that he just messed
Matt
around
didn't
with
wanna
it.
buy it.
He wasn't doing anything serious with
No,
it.
yeah, exactly.
So
Because those things I do believe are real and shouldn't be messed with ever.
well,
But that's just
it's
me.
not with the proper protection and everything.
No, even without or even with, I don't think there's much that will protect you against that. But
well, we've been talking for a
put that
while.
aside.
Nugs, can
Yeah.
you pull somebody up from?
I would love to. If you guys want to come up and voice your theories, questions, or other, please raise your hand. If you want to and you're not in the server, join the Discord server through the link that I'm going to put in here. I'm typing this out myself.
I'm already typing it.
Well, I finished it, so.
No!
Alrighty, let us find somebody.
Oh God, I'm losing my touch.
Hannah, I think I'm going to pull you up, so I'm going to invite you to speak. Should be a little thing that pops up for you.
Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Is your mic?
Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, there you go.
Here we are. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fighting a headache, but I'm okay.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to like explain the theory I made before that you read, but yeah, like because we know Absolate was on Wes's body and was buried with him, And we know that it was written 3 a.m. on the Mountaineer. And it's just weird that this writing is showing up now at 3 a.m. Like, I don't know. I feel like
why
it's
didn't it
showing up,
show up before? And why is it showing up
yeah.
now and not, before or later?
And I do agree.
Well,
There's
also.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, you go.
Well, I do agree that one of the things that has changed is the absolute is now in their possession, and Matt is wearing it around his neck. But the thing is that the absolute's not there at 3 a.m. At least not until the next episode.
Well, if we do go with the theory that whatever's writing this is like ghosts of the subjects from Syntech, we could, you could say that maybe because they've probably seen it before around Wes's neck, are now, in a way triggered by that sight of that being
like
around
they
the office.
recognize it.
Yeah, they recognize it and go, "Oh, we know this. Let's get their attention," or whatever. So if we go with that theory, it could be because of the absolute being there. But the other thing that's changed is the fact that they are no longer calling themselves part of Project 86, subjects of Project 863.
Yeah, and even if I don't know if any, Roger, I was gonna suggest that it could have been Wes's spirit, though it doesn't really make sense because the writing in all of the walls is not consistent. But think about it: we disturbed this man's resting place. He does have, if for those who believe that ghosts need to have an unfinished mission or a motive to stay, he does have a motive. He left Deb behind,
And he hasn't stopped Nelson yet.
and he had a complete faith that she wouldn't kill him, yet she did. So she could be not at rest with that. And we just disturbed his grave. And Matt is walking around with literally the thing that he had around his neck 24/7.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see. Okay. The messages bother me because they're dead ends. Like, you're not listening.
They are.
And the
yeah.
calligraphy is not consistent either, so we can't go, let's analyze or let's try and do something.
Yeah, like handwriting analysis. But
not just that, like comparing with other people's.
Well, I don't think you can do a handwriting analysis because I think handwriting is like pen and paper, and that people will writing.
It'll be different. On
right? Yeah,
paint.
it's different. It's different from writing on a pen and paper to now going vertically with a bottle.
What I'm saying is that you can't even say that it's the same person. Like, sure, I suggested that it could have been Wes, but at least some of the stuff was written on separate days, possibly, because it's so inconsistent, especially on the second message. The listening, you have like 2 or 3 different ends and 2 different I's in that sentence, for example.
Well, Grace, you can't take the writing because the handwriting for a handwriting analysis, because it well, even Matt pointed, like, you look at the eyes. The eyes are different how they're dotted. The handwriting, the S's are different.
The thing about that too is it's not a
change their handwriting. So
yeah, I what I think about spray painting is, like, a lot of people, or at least when I've spray painted words, not that I go around and spray paint words on things, but if I were going to, I would probably try to try to mimic my handwriting in how I do my, N's and I's, etc. Right, but with this one, it just seems like it was written fast, and that's what they wanted to do. They didn't really care how it was written; they just wanted to be readable.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
No, I do not have something to tell you. Thank you very much. I do not go and vandalize things.
I really like the absolute theory because it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I like as well. Was the absolute triggering them because they've seen it before on Wes.
But the
assuming.
ghost image that was caught on the GoPro, that didn't start at 3 a.m. because 3 a.m. was when the phantom appeared at the gravesite. So the
glowing light, yeah.
And that's what they're saying because it kind of like was glowing from the wall. And maybe this is Wes trying to communicate with them.
Yeah, who knows? Because obviously we have seen that over Wes's grave, so it could pertain to that as well. Because maybe taking that, or at least going to that grave, triggered something there.
True. Or brought something
we don't
back
know
with
how
them.
long before, or if at all, that light's been happening in the middle of the night.
Well, I know any person can tell you if you take something from a body or from a gravesite, you can have a ghost follow you back or a spirit follow you back. And they took his clothes.
That they did too, yeah. They took his clothes, and now obviously they have the absolute, so they have most of his current possessions. Well, from what he had in the car.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And where are those possessions? Are those in the vault?
I would assume so, yeah. That's where I would put it if I were one of them.
So, interesting.
They're under Sam's couch.
I really do like that theory because it's like everything's happening at 3 a.m., which is a witching hour. But that's really interesting, Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something we should keep in the back of our mind when we watch the next episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And how come Matt hasn't put the absolute in the vault?
I know.
Well, I thought because it emitted radiation that he was keeping around his neck because he was feeling better with it.
So he's radiating everyone around him now?
Is that or brainwashing
I
is
don't-
already
I
happening,
don't-
and he's not even aware that he knows that he should probably put it in the vault,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time he keeps putting it off, and he might not know why, and he doesn't tell because he doesn't find it weird or anything. Because brains are malleable. If you can, gaslighting is a thing, and mind control is a thing, and all that mind control really does is gaslight the brain into certain things.
Well, it's
So
suggestion. It's not,
yeah, he could be.
It's. Going to the supermarket, you get the power of subconscious suggestion all the time, and so all it does is it takes somebody to plant a suggestion in your head, and all of a sudden you want that. Like if I say, don't think of a gray elephant, what are you all thinking of? You're all thinking of a gray elephant.
Yeah,
I know there's going to be a smart aleck out there, but I was thinking of a yellow elephant.
No.
Everyone does that.
There's actually an experiment called the white bear experiment, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the dates. I'd have to look it up. But basically, it was you give someone the challenge of having to tell a story without referring to. No, it was a polar bear. It was a polar bear, the polar bear experiment, and it was you have to talk about random things for the next 3 minutes, but you cannot mention the polar bear. A bear or the term polar were referred at least one time per minute on most of the subjects. So even if you try to run away from a thought, you can't. And it's not too far-fetched if suggestion and this kind of thing is happening and he's not even aware. Because he feels all good. Matt is all good, guys. So
we still need that antidote.
We know he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the team said it in the We Are 863, basically saying, like, we're not going to stop looking for the antidote because he's not fine. So, but thank you so much, Kenya. I see that we have more hands raised.
All right, let's see who to pull up next. Anthony Blaze, I'm going to invite you. Should have a thing popping up on your screen.
Tyson, you're fine. It's not.
Hello. How
Hi,
are you doing
Anthony.
today?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going
good.
So everybody's going with like mysterious methods, but has anyone ever thought that maybe someone possibly just hacked the Nest cameras and are just writing the letter and then skipping over, writing the letter, skipping over, writing the letter, skipping over?
Well, I mean, that would be Occam's razor.
Oh, so you're saying that somebody broke in, which is why the thing was unlocked, wrote it down, but then hacked the cameras.
But how about the alarm?
Interesting.
Well, I mean,
The
the
alarm
door was
had-
unlocked.
And we've had key fobs do things. You know, we've had people use key fobs in the past.
And it's not
They
hard
didn't check
to
that.
arm. I don't think
Someone
you need
literally came through the roof from the second floor. You don't think someone can get
Yeah,
into that
exactly.
building now?
Well, I
That's
mean,
actually a good thought,
it's really
too.
easy. It's really easy to just arm the system and then leave out the front door. That would explain why you have an unlocked door but an armed system.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good thought.
Well, it also would
Hacking.
possibly explain why, say, I'm assuming the front door has motion detectors, but I'm also assuming they're on the Nest cameras. So if that's the case, if they're hacked, they're not going off, which isn't sending a system to Matthias.
Matt. Interesting.
I mean, it's going to be interesting in the next episode. He does say that he did get a motion alarm, though. Matt did in the scenes in the next episode. He said he got a motion, which he didn't get a motion alert the previous night.
Last one.
So in these scenes in the next episode, he does get a motion alert.
Yeah. And it could just be that the person is doing this to make it look like a ghost, but it's possible that it's actually Deb sneaking in there, making sure she's not seen, and just writing mysterious shit on the wall. Because if it was a ghost, any horror movie that I've seen that involved writing, it actually shows it being written. But you don't see that. It just shows the letter appearing next after the other after the other. It's actually not even showing like it being written.
And that's easy footage. Like me and Squatter were talking to Nugs before the podcast. You just need a photograph of what the wall looks like without the writing, and then the wall, what it looks like after the writing, and then just fading them in, you know. So
it's not very hard to recreate that, but and obviously, like you said, if it was hacked, then they could probably just cut out the person, because the person could write the letter, go out of sight, and then write another letter and go out of sight. So then they could cut being in sight out.
It's not like they've said what their cameras were, so it's not unheard of just simply hacking. I mean, we're talking about scientists. I'm sure they
and
have some
Deb,
hacking
who knows
skills.
tech, because obviously
Hannah.
she can do a lot of.
Hannah just posted something that the center.
That's where the sign used to be.
Yeah, but where's the sign?
High five sign. Was it not taken down already? I thought it was taken down already.
Let me go look at the last episode.
You just see some guy driving down the freeway over in LA with the high five sign in the back of his truck. This is my souvenir of vandalizing a property.
Yeah.
Isn't hacking just programming but for evil?
No. Technically, we shouldn't be calling it hacking. It should be, I think the term is cracking.
I mean, hacking
because
works
hacking,
too.
Yeah, but hacking is ethical most of the times, while cracking is automatically.
Swear if it mysteriously vanished and that letter was left there, I'm gonna scream.
Yeah,
Okay, the
cracking
last
is the same as
episode-
hacking, but with criminal intention.
Oh,
The last episode did not show Bailey's desk at all.
okay.
Matt was in that white room, then they talk in front of the kitchen, and then they went straight to Mega Desk, and then when Matt goes storming out to get the bat, he walks right past and the camera never pans to it.
Gotcha.
Let me jump to this one. We're in front of the kitchen again. We're at Mega Desk.
Yeah, Nelson, you can post it there. It's fine. Yeah, that's interesting to think about.
Yeah, we keep just going to Mega Desk. We're hanging out in front of the kitchen.
Can you see through the back? Sometimes you can see through the back curtains into where Bailey's desk is.
The last.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm saying sometimes you could see through the slats.
The last time I remember actually being over by Bailey's desk was when Matt got the albums.
I don't know.
I'm in the John Doe episode. Nothing there.
Well,
what about the episode where they confronted the Phantom?
That's where I'm looking at because when he gets the albums, he's up there with Mike Badal.
And here's the part where I cut out. I'm just kidding. all the.
This is the part where everyone just drifts off somewhere mentally, and we all just sit in silence doing our own thing, and then come back in less than 2 minutes, all with new things.
I usually will come in here and cut a lot of the silence out, and even some of the random kind of filler conversation that we'll all do.
I mean, it's technically the After Dark without the After Dark. Say hi to yourself, Nugs, because you're probably cutting this out right as we speak.
It's probably
Hi,
true.
Nugs.
I'm looking at Nelson's theory.
No,
No?
it's gone.
Huh?
Okay, so it was gone prior. Okay, so, well, I mean,
But
did say high
the
five, so.
cord, they have a Google speaker. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, I'll post this
Yeah, okay, so
screenshot.
it
has
was,
been
I
gone.
thought it was gone prior, but I wasn't
Yeah.
100%
The
sure.
cord is also gone.
Well, they could have taken that down too. It's not
Yeah.
Nugs, Deb's henchman. No, I'm not. I'm not. Don't say that here. You're not
I
supposed to.
mean,
You're not supposed to-
technically,
you're
you're
supposed
my henchman, and people think I'm Deb, so
Mm.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gone.
Why am I looking? Yeah, okay. So it was gone prior.
Yeah, so Hannah, the dots that you can see in that shot as well, is where the hanging thing was.
Yeah.
So
it was subject for, it was the old High Five Studios sign logo that they used to have there. It was the one with the lights behind it.
yeah.
I don't have a picture of it, but
the last time I remember seeing it was season 2, episode 1. The power goes out. Matt asks, "Why is that still on?" And they were like, "It's battery powered."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you want to see what we're talking about, you can go back to that episode to where the power goes out. But yeah. But Anthony, I think if we're gonna go off of the spooky ghost theory, I think that would be a good theory, and that it would explain some things, like why the door was unlocked but the alarm system was still locked. But then
Yeah,
they have
I'm really trying to avoid the ghost theories.
Yeah,
and that's the scientific side as well. That's a possibility if we're going on the more techie side of things.
We have a major breach in security, though, if somebody has the NateDsz login information.
Yeah, that's major.
Can I read Nelson's theory? I think it's...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Deb was right. It was an accident. First of all, let me start by saying this. I know we can't trust D3B, but she may be telling the truth. 2 letters in the message on the wall stood out to me. The letters N and S. Now, we know one person whose initials are and S. Nelson Cyphers. Now, from the meeting with Benjamin, we can tell Nelson has some form of manipulation or mind control. What if he did this to Deb so she would kill Wesley? The blood wouldn't be on his hands, and he would be known as friendly to Wes. Motive? There's a motive. He had to kill Wes, though he was concerned about safety and patient well-being. I think that when Benjamin took the absolute, Wesley's spirit was reawakened, and because they took the absolute off his body, which might have, Nelson, on this theory, they say that it could have made Wes angry, though. Just taking the personal item off the body is, in some cultures, enough to awaken a spirit. 4. With Wesley possibly being back, he could have made those messages on the wall, and he's trying to tell Matt and the crew that Nelson did it. You're not listening could refer to them not listening to Deb, and can you keep a secret could be about not telling the officer. If Deb and Wes were that close, he could probably tell the difference between the normal Deb and the mind-controlled Deb, especially if it's Nelson who's in control. This would also make sense as of why Sam and Bailey, of why it was by Sam and Bailey, as they are the most listening people out of all of the crew. Woods and Matt usually get quick-tempered or upset when they hear something they really don't like. Look closer.
Mm. A lot to.
That's a lot of the that's a lot of the sounds I've been making after thinking about this episode. Just
Yeah.
It's just a lot of thinking on what it could be, and I'm actually really glad that we have this podcast, because I can hear everybody else's theories, and I can kind of put all those together. Maybe not together, but I can kind of weigh them to see what would make the most sense in the situation.
It's like if everyone made a small piece of a kilt, and then we all just stitch it together here on the podcast and make a huge blanket. And so we stay warm during the winter and survive the harsh times where the crew believes that the project is dead, that they defeated the evil and everything else that came with it.
Hey, look, it's Garrett. He's back.
Garrett, he has
Garrett's back.
returned.
No.
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 I don't return. Hi. Or what did I miss?
Well, Garrett, we have Anthony on stage right now whose theory is that he doesn't like to think about the ghost theory. He wants to think more logical, and he believes that somebody has hacked into the Nest camera footage, and that would explain why they armed the system but exited out of the door, and that would explain why the door's unlocked but the system's armed. And
So
they manipulated the writing to come in.
He thinks that somebody cut out a person being there, and
see.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, the images appear one at a time. It's not actually written.
Yeah, this was actually a theory I kind of had to, I wanted to think about too, because to be personally honest, I'm not really a big fan of ghosts in a story plot too as well, and that's not where I think so. The only issue is that when I thought about hacking Nest Cam, the way that it's presented looks more like it was it's not cut it, or it's not tampered with. That's my only problem with it. It looks like it's one full take, and even cutting somebody out, you would still see a spray particle within it.
Even that, it's one image. It's not like it's moving around a lot, so it's easy just to kind of fade the image to not show something. Because you could replace that Nest image with just a solid, a JPEG of that layout of the room or whatever, and it would just look like the footage, just nothing happening.
I guess for me personally, it's just because I'm a technical person. So Nest, they have an online server because they do a service-based system, so they use a cloud-based. So for somebody to do that, they would have to hack the entire Nest server system.
Wait, isn't Nest?
Or they could have just hacked the login system.
But then they couldn't tamper with the actual footage itself. It would have to be tampered during the recording.
Nest owned by Google?
Isn't it owned by Google? I think it's owned by something else. Sorry, I'm going more technical.
It's Google Nest.
No, it's fine.
I'm pretty sure Nest is Google.
Google.
Because
they would have to hack into Google.
Oh, it is Google, yeah.
Yeah. They had to know the Gmail accounts that they use for the Nest cameras.
But even then, you can't replace footage from a camera within the app. You can't go and tell the cloud, hey, this is the wrong footage. This is the footage. You can't just do that as a user.
I mean, you can, but then you
can't
just do it from local. But I agree. I don't think it's ghosts, but the hacking Nest Cam to me is just that's a pretty difficult point to pull.
One thing is if it's like I said at the beginning, at the time when I joined, that someone is watching through the Nest cameras, but tampering with the footage is an entirely different thing.
I like that theory, unless they hack the footage that's local to Matt's devices.
Someone said
So
plot
all
twist,
they
it
have
was
to do
Matt.
is they have to hack Megadesk.
Well, I actually thought this too as well. What if it is Matt that's doing the writing itself, and because the serum is making him do so? We know the serum can cause a split effect.
I mean, he technically downloaded it. Maybe he just downloaded an edited version, not the actual Nest camera footage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's also a possibility too.
Yeah.
Matt could be doing this himself without even knowing he's actually doing it.
So safe with the absolute around his neck, huh?
That also is a fact. Well, that's also too. Maybe the absolute is a way of control.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm theorizing here.
Well, you weren't here for it, but I had said that if indeed it is ghosts, right? Maybe bringing the absolute in triggered something, because if it is indeed what people are saying, the ghosts of the subjects that died in the lab, they've probably seen that absolute necklace around Wes, so it could have triggered them to want to tell them something or something like that.
That could definitely be a
And
factor
if it is Wes, we tampered with his grave, and Matt is wearing one of his quote-unquote heirlooms around his neck.
See, I really don't think it's the absolute, though. I think it's the bloody clothing. Because they have his personal effects of the day he died. And I think...
But then wouldn't the hauntings happen like during the time that they opened the actual case itself? Which was weeks
didn't happen
later?
Until the end of their break.
With Deb.
Yeah. Well, they said that they had a week off. And then
they
were
right,
gonna come
yes.
back. So it happened that weekend that they were supposed to be coming back.
Maybe it's a ghost of Deb.
Deb.
Because I don't...
If Deb was dead, her mind was already digitalized into a computer.
I think she downloaded an algorithm, or she created like an AI to answer those questions. Because every question she asks is quite robotic in a way.
Clarky, I don't think the name of the
Well, you're talking about the answering machine.
Dev's just a glorified answering machine.
I think D3B is a glorified answering machine. But then there's actually Deb.
I just find that funny.
Well,
please press 1 to talk about.
Do you know anything about the season 3 playlist on YouTube?
I do not know.
Okay. Clarky is saying that it's called The Spire. Season 3 is called The Spire.
Oh, I did see that, but I did not know it was called
it's right there on the Matthias channel, season 3 season 3, The Spire. Yeah, here I'll screenshot it.
Well, what does Spire definition of it?
It's
like
the
top of the pyramid on top of the church.
Yeah, it's
the
there it is.
One.
So that's religious based.
The last season's called The Search for the Seer, and this one's called The Spire. That's that's the Spire.
Deb did say find the Spire. So find a church?
So the definition of spire is the tapering concord or pyramidal structure on top of a building, typical a church tower.
Here's also something else. I googled the spire, and one of the questions that popped up is, what is the purpose of the spire? The spire could serve as a communication tower or a lightning rod, and the flat roof area could also be used as a viewing public deck, with a tapered spire serving as a guardrail or a balustrade, whatever that is.
Sorry, it's just
Merriam-Webster says it's also a slender tapering blade.
Oh, that's a good idea. Moose said antenna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was
it
thinking too. More of an
it's possible
antenna.
to be just a control tower.
Yeah,
So it is possible that Matt's actually being brainwashed this whole time.
that's what I'm thinking. Because like I said, this series says look closer. That's their subtext. So I feel like we should not just jump on the bandwagon for something that is so obvious, like ghosts, and there's something closer. Matt also likes pulling twists too, as well, with the stories.
Yeah.
I do.
After Nick, I'm scared of looking closer because I might be not looking at something that is on the big picture.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all we know, he was mind controlled into smashing that
It
the
was so
computer.
sudden, right? It was so he was suddenly like possessed into talking Deb down and smashing the server.
But I can kind of see why he would at the same. Like, here's the thing: I see both sides of smashing the server and not doing so. Matt, you have to also see how Matt is just literally caught somebody trying to set off a bomb, and he's put his entire team in danger, and he was affected with a deadly serum, and he found out that the only person that tried to help him was literally the person that was part of the murderer and was basically covering her ass so he couldn't get an antidote that he thought he could from John Doe. So I could kind of see why he would be upset. Is it unrational? No, but we've seen Matt be unrational when it comes to breaking up with the team itself too. So it's not like it was out of the blue.
I posted something in podcast recording chat.
What's the thing down by the water container?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't make that up. But the door.
There's doors.
The equipment doors open.
I like how the hoverboard is just chilling there. Oh no, that is a hoverboard. There's two of them.
That and the night footage does not have the nest label.
And the night footage.
That actually might be my bad.
Yeah, it's been cropped. You can see.
Oh,
you can see the ladder
because I zoomed in.
As I say,
you can
it
see
zoomed
the
in, so
ladder.
it probably cropped it.
Yeah, I
then
zoomed
you
in
can't.
the Nest footage, so don't take that for don't take that.
Let's no.
Why did
I
they
told you
have
I'm
a
the
disco
Phantom.
ball in the?
I was just about to say the
entry?
same thing. The disco ball.
Yeah.
Because you want to have a party at like your
'Cause-
office.
Because the sun comes down and they can just start dancing.
I could just see Bailey working. Just the sun hits the disco ball. She's like, "Yeah, let's party." But no. It is interesting the doors actually open. I've at this scene so many times. I did not know the door was open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That
that's
actually
funny.
freaks me out.
That's funny. So somebody in the YouTube chat said, "So what if the spire is just that thing on the roof?"
Oh, there is that thing on the roof.
Wait,
I wouldn't
They have it the whole
classify that as a
time.
spire, though. The spire would probably be what was in the.
a vertical. The spire as an antenna, it would be
But-
a vertical antenna.
Well,
and it's tapering.
it is a long tapering object. I don't. Deb is literal.
Yes.
Then why
Yeah,
was
she
she
is,
being
yeah.
literal about imagination?
I don't. That one. Yeah, that one got me. Someone pointed out to tape on the floor. Oh, Hannah did.
That's a cord. I've seen that before in other footage. It's a cord running from out
It's-
there to the HQ.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything.
But yeah,
Well, maybe
it's a
Deb
little
doesn't know it's
creepy
on the
that the
roof.
door is open.
Yeah, That actually gave me a like, oh geez, because like again, I edit this episode. I didn't even notice the door was even open.
Garrett,
Give it to the
Garrett,
science babes to find this kind of stuff.
there's this one like you probably had this one syndrome that those security guards have to stare at the cameras ages and ages and ages.
Oh yeah,
It was probably something like that. Where
probably.
sometimes you just notice a movement and your brain memorized that one picture so well that you don't even
Yeah.
notice.
To be brutally honest, I did really focus on the "can you keep a secret" part on the wall.
Yeah, you weren't even thinking
That
about the
was a-
rest of the picture.
But I do think the spire being a cell tower does make sense, or a tower of like an antenna or tower or so makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
I'm drawing on my phone right
It's
now.
5G infected Matt. Oh man,
It's
that made me laugh.
Yeah. We are almost at 2 hours.
Oh gosh.
We gotta
Wow.
do the podcast after dark. I'm just
Oh,
replying to somebody.
Hannah
right now.
pointed out what that thing was. It's the hover bike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 2 of them.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was at
There's
first.
the hover
but,
board
yeah,
and
zooming
then
in.
the hover bike. And then
But
that
it
kind
is
of
true that it's
scooter
not
thing.
there.
It's Woods. He hovered all around the entire building.
I mean, yeah.
Hoverwoods. Hoverwoods.
Woods. Yeah, that's just a taped
Yeah,
cable.
it's just a cord going. Yeah, that's what I that's actually what I was thinking of was that shot right there.
Yeah.
Woods is the ghost of Spellbound.
Well, he was like when they were under quarantine and Woods was living in the office.
Oh yeah,
That's
right.
an episode. So, but
Wait,
yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, no, not really. It was a stage comedic story where
Oh,
Woods was hotboxing himself in the office.
Well, Anthony, I see you're still up here. Thank you for your theory.
Yeah. Thank you,
It's
Anthony.
fine. Thanks.
Josh,
Thanks for having
you're
me.
suggesting 60
I saw that.
subject
You have a
number.
good day, Anthony.
You have a good day, Anthony.
See you, Anthony.
016.
Subject number.
I definitely saw that on Spellbound community. People were talking about it.
Because the eye, like it's what I was saying before. The ends and the eyes are so different.
Well, the thing is
Yeah.
that if you go to listening, the I in listening, the second one, and then you go to the question mark in the can you keep a secret, they still have the question mark has that bubble.
So you think it was like a half-written message, and then someone else completed it
I don't know.
and did the other one downstairs?
I have no idea.
Because then the N is closer to the first N that appears on that text message. That
Oh,
the text messaging.
Josh, what the heck?
Joshy, not again.
Not gonna
Not
lie, I
again.
never saw that.
Oh my
never-
god, no. I guessed it, but I looked at it anyway. I knew it was coming.
Weird. All right. We're going to have to wrap up the podcast. There are some interesting theories. I mean, we're just going to get theories after theories after theories until we can get more answers, like in the next episode, whether, because I find it interesting that he did not get a motion detection, but then when they stay overnight, he gets a motion detection. So that's a little off and a little weird and a little suspicious. So, but yeah, we're going to have to wrap up this podcast. We do ask you guys to continue the conversation. The conversation does not end here. Should never end at the podcast. We usually jump over to our VC, and you guys create really good theories after the podcast. After that, we also have, if you're a premium member, you have plus.spellbound to be renamed soon. We also have Reddit. We have other platforms like the Science Babes. We also have the Science Babes on YouTube, and we are Subject 4 on Twitch. Sorry, my brain has been in a fog for the last 2 weeks.
It's okay. We also have Noah on 863 Reacts on YouTube.
Yep, Noah over there. It just when I send you guys out to these different platforms, make sure to be respectful of the rules. I know on the podcast we go behind the scenes, like I told you, behind the scenes, like with the conversations between me and Matt about like how he says that I'm not gonna like season 3. We do go behind the scenes. We are Subject 4. They're strictly what's in the episode. So not what is, thank you, Nugs, not what is, they don't like to break the spell or anything like that. So be respectful when you go over to the different platforms. If they do not want the spell to be broken, please don't break it for them. Keep it with just the episode, and be respectful to them, and their other platform rules and stuff like that. And then there is Project 863 Reacts with Noah. But once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Might I just add one thing?
What's that?
I know that often when you guys, when we're watching any content and someone tells, oh, you should check these people out. I know that sometimes people are prone to say, oh, Subject 4 podcast sent me. Project XCC React sent me. And there's this one thing that I've learned from Bills in Minecraft. All those Dream SMP fans who know who I'm talking about. He has enlisted on his chat to one. He rarely rates other people in the first place. But when he does, what happens is like, don't tell these people that we sent you, that Artemis and the rest of the mods sent you to these channels. Look at the content. If we suggest it and you like our content, you will probably like it. But the streamers will probably like hi, like if it's live, like with We Are Subject 4, they will probably like a hello instead of raid, you know. And ask how they're doing. Comment on the actual video instead of just Subject 4 send me. Do a constructive comment. Help the people out with their actual work instead of just I'm here because Artemis sent me. And
be constructive,
be wholesome
in your commenting, and
be wholesome and constructive.
Yeah. But so YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you want to join us on the Discord, you can. The links are in the description. Also, we're gonna hop over to our Twitch and do Podcast After Dark, which is just us being annoying.
It's only 11 p.m.
Yes.
I can stay one more hour.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's not gonna be that long. I think we'll just do an hour or so. But yeah, if you want to hang out with us, it's more I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it does get crazy. It's
just a crazy time that we have.
It's usually
after
Shades
dark.
that gets crazy.
Yeah, someone's gonna replace them, and I'm gonna just say something. I do have the peanuts that I opened last with a paper cutter. So.
Oh. So if you want to join us, we'll probably be streaming in about an hour over on our Twitch, and I hope you guys have a great week. We will see you Saturday. The episode comes out on Friday, but we will see you Saturday on the podcast, because we can't uproot our lives that quickly. Matthias, no, I'm just kidding. No, I understand why he had to make those changes. So. But I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you guys Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
See you, everyone.